There we go. Okay, it says that I'm live, so I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds for people to find their way. Um, there we go. Hi, Brenna. All right, let me get that. Oh, what is going on? Give me a second. I was waiting for some people to get on anyway, so that's okay. Okay, pin that and pin. Okay. Well, I guess I will go ahead and get started, but I know there were a couple other people. Oh, hi, Jessica, Brenna, hello. I already said hi to Brenda like 13 times now. um, I would just this morning was today has been like really weird. I'm in that phase. I want to see if you guys are feeling this like that ascension, like the the rising is happening really fast, and it doesn't feel overwhelming. It just feels very palpable. The energies of today feel really palpable as far as like rising up. My nose has been really runny, so I know that there is some more cleansing. There's nothing, it doesn't feel like a cold or anything like that. It's just like constantly running, and it's clear. And I only share that simply just because I'm treating this more and more, I find, as a kind of a diary of this process. And I want to share a little bit about our journey for throughout today. But first, I woke up to four different solar flare announcements. So those solar flares rip off the sun, and they hit us pretty quickly. So there is a pretty large intensity of waves of solar winds coming in. And I wanted to review quickly this anatomy of light. We've been through this a couple of times on these daily tune-ins, but I don't think that like in school, we did learn that sometimes a review is quite helpful. And I think this is information that requires and is valuable enough to review, because when we know this and understand what's happening during these solar storms, we can really tune into the energies of them and start to feel them, so they are palpable. This is how um, we are fine tuning our skill sets of reading the unseen parts of the world, with really getting that relationship going, not going, but honing in our relationship with how the energetics of us work. We are also fine tuning and settling into the consciousness, the new consciousness of who we are and how it works when we get I don't want to keep saying hit, but when we get bombarded and showered with these cleansing solar rays. So I want to just make sure that I get clear everything on here. Yeah. So just as a quick reminder, again, if you guys have been here, we already know this, but I think a lot of times we know this at a certain level when we get to the point where we're like, oh yes, we know. Right, we know those words. We know what happens when solar energy comes. We know what happens, but I think we have to be taught to go back and listen again with new ears and go even deeper into the understanding of what that knowing really is, so that we can expand that knowing a little bit more. And what is happening now is we have been talking about following the breadcrumbs for the last couple of days. We've been talking about the feelings and of anticipation. Something big is coming, something big is coming, and it starts with you. And when we say, let me reverse a little bit. I believe when most of us, when the collective, because this is very clear to me, when the collective is saying that there's something big, we also know we feel that in the physical sense. We've already felt it in energetics. We've already kind of pulled in through previous solar updates enough information, enough wisdom to know that something is coming. There is but it's not like, it's not that apocalyptical, what we've been taught, kind of end of world scene. It's more of an end of world, an end of times, transition. It's that line in the physical world where we will know. And what kept coming to me today on our walk, when Bud and I went for our walk with our dogs, what kept coming to me was, you will know it when you see it. You will know it when you see it. Here's the thing. It meaning that the delineation between the unknowing and that flash of insight, where all of a sudden, all the not and it listen, it's not going to be all the pieces of the universe and all of a sudden. It's going to be, because I mean, once we do that and we absorb back into the 12D frequency of source consciousness, we're done. We've evolved. What we are talking about here, the big thing is that next step, that next the next step into where we're climbing, and we get to that point where there is a knowing of some sort of how our physical reality moves forward. And when I say our, first I mean mine, and then your individual reality, your individual life. Something big is coming to shift your reality in some way that triggers that clarity, that triggers that moment where all the pieces come together. And depending on where you are energetically in resonance, the other side of that will be determined based on where you are energetically. So many in the 3D world, and again, we've already talked about this, but we're kind of in this, like, um I want to call it wait and see, but it's not, because we're not just waiting to see. We are still moving along. We are fine tuning our skills. We are showering in and enjoying these beautiful solar packets that are coming in, because these solar packets are the packets of light that are coming together, that are stacking up, going, and they're connecting dots. So as fast as we are getting these in, you, sweet soul, are taking in these light packets. These light packets are coming in from source. Remember, you probably won't be able to see this very well, okay? And then these come in from the galactic central sun, go through our sun, pop off in the form of solar flares and coronal mass injections. And there's a lot of solar activity right now that we're watching. We're all watching. And then this then floods our planet. As it floods our planet, these scalar light waves contain packets of universal intelligence, and that information is transferred to you as soon as it touches you. As soon as those solar winds hit you, those universal packets are transferred to you in your consciousness, through your consciousness, through your auric field. These waves hit at over, now it says here for 2 million. These are at 437 kilometers per second. I'm not sure if it's the same, the same context, but these scalar waves hit you really, really fast, right? They're coming in super fast, and especially one after another, you're just getting ba 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 ba. So you might feel really tired. I just took a hard nap, a 30-minute nap, and was completely out. So you are getting a lot of information that's coming into your field. And then those gamma waves go right to your brain waves and you're already organizing your brain waves. Comes in to update the DNA. It comes through your physical cells, then slices through the cells, goes into the DNA, starts to awaken and reformulate and do some upgrade work to your DNA. That DNA then is the biological computer module of you. It is your operating system. It is unique to you. So the upgrades that you're getting are unique to you. It's not we're not all getting the same thing. We're all getting our individual upgrades, or the information and the data packets that are for our own unique programming are coming in. We are receiving them, and then we all of a sudden have these big bolts of ideas, like, oh, bing, bing, bing. I get it. I get it. I get it. Connections being made, you understand what's happening, and there's a lot of different layers to when I say that. So pay attention to this as well. As I'm saying that there's different layers that are coming in, there's different levels. You sorry, I'm having a hard time articulating this. You again, these data packets are unique to you based on the soul pathway you are on and depending on the resonance of where you are. So we are all going to have a different and unique expression of this flash moment. I don't know it with certainty that it happens all at the same time for every human. I get more of it's going to be happening in waves, but rather synchronistically, rather quickly. So when this moment comes for you, it's going to look different. It's going to feel different, and then once enough of of humanity, once enough of humans get that solar upgrade, that solar flash, and all of a sudden hit it, then we'll see it out in the external world as far as the as actual exposure. So something big is about to be exposed in your life. So if that scares you, you might have stuff that's going to be exposed and you might be worried about that, but if you have something to hide, if there's something lurking in the darkness, you will know about it. So it's not a scary thing. It's just the trigger that starts the fast ascension journey. If you don't have much lurking in the form of that and you are light and you hold a lot of light, this moment in time is going to trigger a different set of coincidental circumstances that again speed up the ascension into those higher realities. So something big is being organized. We've been talking about that, but it's almost at the moment where the organization comes together, everything clicks into place. There's that flash moment, and then all of a sudden the projection is being seen by us. This is happening very quickly, and it's happening um, now. It's happening now. So it's just a matter of time before myself and you all are experiencing and knowing what is the big moment for yourself. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of like, what does this mean? It's a definite feeling. It's definitely palpable at this point. And this shower of cosmic light is the cleansing of the kind of like it reminds me of when Bud and I were in Mexico. We went to these beautiful hot springs and they were all like all up through the mountains. It was like the craziest thing I'd ever seen. It felt like we were in a different world. Talentanga hot springs, and it's in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. We had to drive forever and we were nervous. We didn't know what we were doing, and we were like, man, we're going to the middle of Mexico. We don't know anything. We had our kid with us. We get there, we were all like, oh my gosh. And we're climbing these mountains up to the different hot springs. And of course, I'm getting all into the story and forgetting the point to this. Um, oh, the light. Hold on, I'm talking. I had a thought, y'all. I'm sorry, I missed it. It'll come back if it's important because I like the story and I like sharing. I like sharing that Tonga thing because that was we were in such foreign lands. We were in such foreign unknowns to us that just operating, we were super aware. That's what it was. We were super aware of where we were going, what we were doing. And by being super aware, we didn't miss much, which meant we were completely present to there's this entire experience at the hot springs. There was a little bit more to that then came back. But the super awareness right now is what is being called. So fine tuning your awareness to every moment, every thought, every directional nudge that you get. Be super aware because these are such subtle, these energies are so big, and yet the change is so subtle. It's just one level of degree of understanding further from where you are that's going to give you that solar moment, that flash moment. Okay, so it might sound like similar words, but when you hear it from a higher level, it gives you a higher level of perspective all of a sudden of understanding, and then the dots connect and you have that solar flash, and at that point you know. So it sounds cryptic. It feels a little bit cryptic. It also sounds like a lot of what we've heard before, but the energy feels enough different that it feels like it's new, and it feels like to like that we need to pay attention. We need to be really aware at this moment in time. So again, we've heard, there's a big thing coming, there's a, whatever, and we can create all of the ideas in our minds. We all have. We've all put together, like, how's this going to go down? How this is going to go down, I feel very, very strongly, is that we will know. How this is going down is how it is for you first. Don't look outside. Don't be on Instagram looking about how it is going to go down, the exposure, the whatever, the truth being revealed, because it has to happen in your reality first for the global collective to see it. So it feels like waves. I've also seen like you remember that game, the whisper down the road, or whisper down the lane, whisper down the telephone, or whatever, or telephone, I think is the name. And kind of the two same things. But, someone tells me, and then I whisper to my friend, and then she whispers. And by the end of it, it comes down, and the whole message has been completely manipulated. That's kind of how this third dimensional world has worked. Here's how we're going to manipulate. And then we take it down to the media, and then we get everybody, all the systems involved. And by the time it gets down to us, the truth has been completely manipulated, and it's not the message at all. In this case, the message, or and again, I'm not sure how this is going to look, but what I keep seeing is that we are whispering to each other, like kind of sharing this disclosure in our own lives. We are sharing the disclosure and our story and how it went down for each of us, and we share it with someone else, and then they share theirs, and they share theirs. And all of a sudden, when we share from this higher perspective, we share from a cleansed and cleared vessel. So we are sharing truth to the next person. So the message, as we get our flash moment and we start to share it and share our experience, it comes across and is a truthful message. Therefore, it is repeated and shared in a truthful and non-frayed way. So it's the truth that's being shared. So again, feels really cryptic. It's kind of all still piecing together. I'm still getting these puzzle pieces. I want to hear what you guys have going on to see if you're getting any puzzle pieces. But this all feels very, very very, very close. And I say those words in the same way we've heard a lot of other things, or a lot of other times, those same words, but going a little bit deeper. Does it feel different? It feels different. So however, whatever that means is exactly as, I'm not sure, but just be aware in your energy, and become aware of how things are shifting. What's it looking like? What's being triggered in your life? Keep your eyes open. What is being triggered in your life? Triggers are not all bad, right? We've kind of developed that idea because we've all been through the healing of a lot of traumas, and they are, a lot of times the healing comes when something is triggered and you feel pain. There's also triggers that trigger and events and activities that lead into higher and higher levels of expression. So these two things are going to be happening: triggers that are going to be painful, and triggers that are going to be expansive and elevating. And then we then start to the sharing process. These waves come in, and we start to share our experiences to create the critical mass of that flash going globally, going through humanity. Just look how that all might show up in your life. Again, it's all going to look different. It's all going to be different, but it's going to be, we will be able to use those words to describe our experience. Okay. This is kind of exciting, but kind of weird, because it's hard. It's a hard thing to articulate, but we're doing our best, and we're just tuning in to the messages that come day by day. This has been a really, not annoying, but this has been a very pokey message today. And what I mean by that is it hasn't gone away. I've gone through my walk. I sat on the beach, was with the dogs, with Bud, and this message just kept coming through, and it kept poking me and poking me. Listen up, listen up. Listen up. It's palpable. See the shower? See these solar flares? You're getting showered. It's a cleanse. You're getting a solar shower. You're getting cleansed. And I'm like, I've heard that before. No, no, no. I need you to listen. I need you to listen. So it was like, it was super annoying. Um, but at the same time, I know when it gets to be super annoying, it's really important. So that's where we are. Sinus issues yesterday and today. Isn't that interesting? There's third eye sinuses. So the third eye, I think, I don't know if I said this out loud, but I remember thinking this on a daily tune in that what kept coming to me I mean, for about a week almost, that my nose has just been constantly running. And again, no illness, nothing else associated with it. It's clear. So it's just a purge of some sort. But where is it purging? It's purging the third eye. The third eye is getting that final. I keep saying it's a final, but I don't think it's final. It's never final. But I want to say, like, and a really important cleanse. It's getting a really important shower right now. Yesterday was a big struggle to get through. Okay, good to know. And that sounds about right. It definitely sounds about right. Experiencing a lot of irritability. Aloha, hi Liza. But is frozen for me. Anyone else? I have felt like frozen, but no, I hope I'm all right. I think I'm okay. You guys are still talking. Streaming good here. She's back on here. Thanks. We are headed to Florida on Sunday and told my husband that something felt off about it. Well, the class has been canceled. That's why we were going, and I knew it would. Waiting for the next crumb. Yeah, so stuff like that is happening. And thank you, Jessica, for saying that, because this is another thing that came to me to share with you. As far as the fine tuning of skill sets, it's showing up in a really fun way for me. So I want you to be aware of it so that we can have fun through this and kind of adventure through this whole process. As I was walking today, and this goes back again, I mentioned it yesterday and a couple weeks ago. I think it was Jeannie a couple weeks ago that was saying, she kept getting the nudge to stop for gas. And she's like, but I don't need gas. And finally she was like, when am I going to get the lesson and just listen? So she just listened finally. And without any logical evidence, she just turned in and got gas. And we were all talking about that on our Ascension Bank call, just sharing the insight and the perception that many of us had, that we are being asked to fine tune our skills of listening, to shut the heck up sometimes and just listen to the nudges and follow them. When we went on our walk, I have pictures of it, but I'll probably do a post on Instagram and Telegram later. But as I was walking, I kept getting these like, look down, and I looked down, and I was taking my shoes off at one point, and I look over, and there was this beautiful, like, perfect shell, and Bud had been looking for shells, so I picked it up and put it on his shoe. And I was like, oh, okay, I get this. Let's keep doing this. Give me something else. Give me something else. I was like a dog with a bone, like, throw the bone and I'll go find it. So then it was just, I'd kind of tune in. Where do I need to go now? Go left. And then there's this like weird area on the rocks that has this like dirt that's packed in. It's the only place on all of rocks that has this packed in dirt. And the other day, it kind of reminded me of like, I was like, oh, it looks like something that I would like hide something for myself in. And then I was like, bing, and I was led back over there. So I dug a little bit and was like, dug up this stone that had a message. It was like all the things, but all that to say, we can have fun with this, and we can practice our skill sets by having fun and being in nature and allowing nature to be our communicator, our messenger, because those messages of wisdom that are given to us, it could come from human mouths, it could come from souls that maybe are human but look human but maybe aren't. Maybe there are angels. Maybe I do believe that we will be aided in this flash by otherworldly beings, but they're not going to want to be afraid, or have us be afraid. So they could be in a human looking form. So it could be a conversation there, or it simply could be messages that come in through these solar packets. So although this sounds really, airy fairy, and maybe to some ears that could come in here and hear this message, it's really for those of us who have mastered these skills and who have lived in this world and who have prepared to be in this world and in this communication style and in this mission of this elevation of consciousness. we will understand this message. So if you're hearing this and it's resonating, pay attention, be aware, and look for your own breadcrumbs. Stop looking on like on Telegram and stop looking everywhere else to piece things together. You've got to piece it from within out. So this is not where we sit and just wait for the announcement, or whatever that means. We are waiting for the announcement to come from within, and to have it then made manifest, the announcement, the trigger, the moment, the flash, whatever that is, whatever you want to call it, that moment, in our own being first. Okay. Wow, Jessica, I love that. Yes, you are on your path for sure, Jessica. I wish I was clear enough in my intuition to know what my big moment is going to be. I think that's the mystery. That's for all of us, Brenna. None of us really know what it is. We have gotten clues to it, though. We have gotten clues. You have gotten enough information that at this point that you are piecing your own puzzle together. So what that means in the direction of where your life is going. None of us know what that moment is going to be, because it wouldn't be that fun if we like knew what to expect. So there's a little bit of funness in this, and there's also, this is where we get fine-tuned by being led to it internally, intuitively. So, and then when we get the message of like, this is it, when like you will know when it was another kind of annoying point, the jab, like you'll know it when you know it. You'll know it, it'll be an obvious moment. So, none of us know. That's why the anticipation can feel a little bit like anxiety, but we can't allow it to go to anxiety, because that then stifles and stops the organization. When we have the intention, or the energy is flowing and expanding, then we're allowing for the organization of that energy to then come together and organize and project itself out into your own reality. So each of us will see our world come together in some way. I wish I was being a reflector. I'm challenged right now in all the chaos of external, even though I don't watch any of it, and feeling extreme pains in my body from the wind, and I'm not sure what else. No fear. Good. Yeah. Noticing, Christine, keeps coming to my mind. You're aware. We are witnessing like the history at this time. The history of this time is not about wars, and it's not about the global collapse. It's not about yeah, there might be a bullet point about the deep state being taken down, because that's a millennia, like that's truth, like that's a big history. But I think the biggest part of what is happening now in this ascension process, and in these the solar activity, and how our planet is changing and how humanity is changing, we are seeing the we are seeing humans adapt and evolve. Like our whole physical being is being changed. This is the history, and how cool that we know enough to just pay attention and to be aware, so that when we are the elders and we are sharing our stories because we've paid attention, and they're going to be seared in our brain because they are so amazing, we can then be the ones that share these stories, and we just say, and I remember like my body aching. Like this is how we share these ascension stories for the generations that or I don't know about generations, but for the next waves of people. My body started hurting. I'm noticing a lot that like I'm just having like just heavy hard sleeps, like 30-minute naps at this point. So who knows, our experience might be right before it comes, the big thing comes, you will get, I got really tired. My friend Christine, she was feeling a lot of body aches all like right before it. So we're paying attention to what each other is experiencing, because our community is sharing truth and sharing experience in between, so we can speak from the experience of. And my friend Jessica, she was having, she was listening to her intuition, and didn't have any logic as to why she didn't want to go to Florida, but the universe took care of it, and things just started happening. Things started to happen and take care of themselves for each of us and move things out of the way. And we just let them move out of the way because we knew it was happening. Everything's being organized for us. That's our story. That's how, hopefully. So that's what it is meant to be, our story. It just happened, and it was so easy and it was so subtle, but all of a sudden, and it doesn't mean it's going to all be pleasant and, blissful, but it doesn't mean it's going to be painful either for us, because we've done this a million times already. We've done the navigating through, through some darkness. We know how to do that. We are full-time RVers, and now that Florida has been canceled, we don't have a plan. My type A self is stepping into the discomfort and waiting for the divine instructions. Yep. So who knows? Your divine instructions might become really darn clear. And once it becomes clear, a bunch of other things start to fall into place, or other things fall out of place, so that next stage can fall into place. So just with being in the unknown and being like, I don't know what's coming. I don't know what this is all about, but I'm going with it and staying aware. That is our job at the moment. So interesting. I had 3 full 5D days in the mountains, and coming back home triggered all sorts of pains. Like I'm not supposed to be here anymore. Listen to that. Let's see. Brenna, that things might be moving out of your way. So just pay attention to, you came home, you felt pain, and you had the idea that maybe I'm not supposed to be there. We do know that we are being shifted around, especially light workers are being moved around the world to pivotal places. So that could be something, and may not be a different part of the world for you, but it could just be something different. So just pay attention and stay awake, stay alert, not stay awake, because I had to sleep, but it was like the good old sleep. So when I'm awake, I'm aware. So stay aware and stay hydrated, stay connected to the earth for real. Like get your hands in dirt. I had a picture, my hands were all dirty from digging. And remember yesterday when I heard, dig in, I was like, all right, I'll dig in some earth. So I did that today. I'm just listening and doing what I'm told. I'm being a good girl, but in the good sense, the healthy sense of like, what now? What do I need to do to my team Leo so that I can help move this critical mass that we're in to that moment where all of us are a little bit more clear on what's happening. We are going the wrong way as we were driving home. Yeah, Brenna, just pay attention to that, lady. I know that I've had that feeling. I have had that feeling, and I know it. And it was pretty truthful. And I will also tell you that when I finally listened and we got to the other side of it, on the other side, it's been glorious ever since. There's been some work that has to be done, but it gets easier and easier and easier as we transgress or transmute those big hurdles. All right, y'all, 32 minutes. I'm doing good at getting these around 30 minutes. I made a commitment to myself to do that, and it feels like time just serves us well. And it gets to 32 minutes, and I feel complete. Gotten through some of your comments. Have an amazing weekend this weekend. For those of you in the Ascension Bank, we will come together tomorrow on Saturday for our Saturday gathering, and then on Sunday we have the workshop. It's going to be fun. I don't really know what it is yet, but it came to me a little bit ago, and when I wrote it up and kind of downloaded the overall idea of it, I was like, that sounds like fun. So we're going to work on our connection with our galactic teams so that we are fine-tuning that connection and that connectivity even more as we go through here. So look at that cool light coming through. Look at the light coming through here. It's kind of neat. It's the reflection of the sun. It must be beaming off of the window there. Oh, it is, because the sun's in front of me. And it's behind me. Look at that solar flash. You guys are getting some solar rays here from the Ionian Sea as well. All right, y'all. Have a great, beautiful weekend. If you get some value out of this daily tune in, by all means, you can share a donation, a generous donation at the links on the pinned post. This is my job. My job is to come to you and download these messages for myself and to help us all navigate it. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'll see you on Monday. Maybe I might have an announcement. I'm not sure over the weekend, but we will see. I'm going to keep it mysterious. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye. Okay,